Welcome back to 101sports.com. Dan Petlock with you for Glennon Gallop. Wine and Dine in Divots, a white-hot affair. We're talking with Dr. Matthew Broom and Peter von Gontard from the event. Matthew Broom, we'll start with you. Kind of just give us the overall, what does this event do to help your pediatric center, the Danis Pediatric Center? Can you kind of give us an insight of how this helps your center?
Sure. Well, the event is a product of the work of Peter Danis, who in 1956 helped establish Cardinal Glennon as a children's hospital within the St. Louis community. As a result of that, down the line, eventually the Danis Pediatric Center was born, and currently it's the largest outpatient academic primary care practice within the entire region. It provides care to about 20,000 kids a year. We have about 8,000 kids that are impaneled direct to our clinic. We have a wide variety of services, and this is now the third annual Glennon Gallop as far as benefiting Danis Pediatric Center. And the vision of Peter Danis has continued on from two of his sons, Tom and Lucy Danis, and then Jackie and Tim Danis, as far as for moving that forward. And it's been a tremendous event as far as not only to help us with the outreach and moving forward clinical programs and services, equipment within the clinic that otherwise wasn't available, to now that it's something where from either our parenting clinic, our foster care program, our foreign adoption program, because of this event, it's allowed us to really dream big and look to try to indeed capture the mission of what Peter Danis wanted, in that making sure that no one would ever be denied care because of not having access to it.
Now, you mentioned it's the third year now. Does all the money raised stay here locally?
That's correct. So the money raised from the Glennon Gallop goes direct to benefit Danis Pediatric Center at Cardinal Glennon. Cool. And, you know, it's not just Danis Pediatric Center. So in general, because that primary care practice is indeed so large, it moves to throughout the subspecialty clinics and really throughout the region. It's also, you know, Danis Pediatrics is a hub for medical education in that we have 170 medical students a year through St. Louis University. We have about 60 residents a year. So really a lot of the primary care pediatric education of so many people within our community start from, indeed, Peter Danis. And being able to reach through and join arm in arm with two of his sons is really powerful.
Yeah, and you mentioned, again, it's the third year. It's the Glennon Gallop, the Wine, Dine, and Divots, a white-hot affair. The money specifically, does it help, put these families? Does it help the families, help the kids with the treatment? Does it help bring in new equipment? What does the money go to?
So in the past, the money has brought in new equipment as far as for allowing us to do real-time lab assessments as far as for infants, screening for something called bilirubin. It's updated our vision and screening capabilities as far as a new audiometer machine. It's also allowed us to get brand new state-of-the-art exam tables and update the comforts as far as for our families within our waiting room, as far as for new tables and chairs within there.
Very neat, very neat. Again, it's a Glennon Gallop Wine, Dine, and Divots, a white-hot affair. The event is Saturday, September 12th in Defiance, Missouri, and it's going to be a polo event. Now, for that, let's go over to Peter von Gontard to talk about the polo event. Peter, tell us, it's a very exciting event, obviously. Tell us how the polo plays into the event here.
Well, this is done primarily through the auspices of St. Louis Benefit Polo, which has done numerous polo benefits for St. Louis charities throughout the years. And actually, the Glennon Gallop is the biggest of all of them. It's just grown and grown and grown. And it's mainly because they put so much into it that in addition to the polo, they have a first-class event at the field that everybody has a lot of fun with. People that don't know polo, as you and I have talked about, if you think about Pretty Women, that's the people will be dressed. You'll have the big hats. You'll have the flowing gowns.
They go get to stomp on the loose sod as well.
They do. At the halftime, everybody is asked to go out on the field and put it back so that it'll be a smooth surface again.
Cool.
And everybody loves doing that. They have champagne out in the middle of the field and usually some ice cream or something for the kids. I hear that this weekend it's going to be cool, so it's going to be even better than the last couple of benefits we've done, which were either too rainy or too hot, and so this should be perfect.
Now, who are the guys playing in the polo? You have a couple teams out there playing?
Well, there's a team that's being sponsored from Virginia. The Crenshaw Lighting people from Virginia are bringing in a team. Will be partially St. Louis players, partially the head of that team, which is Patrick Daly, and who has Crenshaw Lighting, and then there'll be at least one pro from Mexico on that team, and then there are going to be another group of pros and local players. I think my son Peter's going to be playing on, and that's the Kraftig team, who's sponsored by Billy Bush, William Kurt Bush, who started Kraftig beer after AB was sold, and It's actually at Kraftig Field out in Defiance, Missouri, which is easy to get to. You go out 64 to Double D and go south 5 miles, and you're at Benny Road. You turn right on Benny Road, and you run right into the polo field. And what's great about that field is it's, number one, it's in the middle of the country out there. It's beautiful. You usually have a great breeze, and there's a built-up grandstand where people can actually walk up into the stands and then look down on the polo, so you really can appreciate the game. And for people that haven't seen it, in addition to the divot stopping, people don't realize that in order to put on a polo game, they're usually each player will have a minimum of 6 horses because there's 6 periods. The periods are 7.5 minutes long, and they'll take longer than that because there's fouls and there's breaks if tack breaks or something like that. So it's usually 2 hours for the game, but in order to have 6 horses for each of the 6 chuckers, they end up bringing 50 horses to the field minimum, because there'll be 2 mounted umpires out there, and then people will have other spare horses. So putting on this event is something. A field, people don't realize it is 300 yards long by 160 wide if boarded, so you can put essentially 10 football fields on a polo field.
Wow.
So that's why it's great to have somebody explaining the game, and that's what I do. I used to play polo.
Okay.
My son Peter is on this team. My son Paul was on the Kraftig team, but he had to go to college at SMU, so he can't play in this one. He's played in the past ones.
Very neat.
And so it's a family deal.
Cool.
And I do the announcing, and I try to keep it light and lively and fun and root for whichever team my children are playing on.
I like it. It's the Glennon Gallop Wine, Dine, and Divots, a white-hot affair. How can people get involved? Are tickets still available? How can they show up to this event?
Well, I understand that the online ticket sales have closed, and the VIP tent will be closed out, where there's a wonderful food. And for next year, if they want to get involved, they got to get on early, because even though they have 2 enormous tents, it sells out, and they have wonderful wines, food, and then live entertainment. And but that, as we say, is sold out. That's how popular this is, and there'll be a big auction in there. But you can still get tickets at the gate. It's $25 a car.
Okay.
If you want to buy a wine and cheese basket, you can do that. That's $75. You can fill the car with as many people as you want. There's no individual charges, and a lot of people come, and if they haven't been able to get in the VIP tent, they either buy the basket there, or you bring a cooler of beer or cooler of wine or cooler of champagne or soft drinks for the kids, and everybody just has a great time. And
so load up the clown car, bring them all out.
Exactly. As many as you can put on board, we can handle.
Let's back to Dr. Matthew Broom here. What are some of the needs that you're facing right now at the Donnie Pediatric Center that this event helps?
Well, I mean, we're just so fortunate that St. Louis Benefit Polo and also, Fifth Third Bank as our presenting sponsor is able to help us along the way for the event. And currently, although we've addressed many of the needs for our clinic with the first 2 years, really, we are now starting to really outgrow the environment that we're in. So, I had indicated, 18,000 patients a year, nearly 8,000 that are direct and paneled to our practice. We only have 17 exam rooms, and we're adding more and more services. And what we're looking to is really into thinking big, expanding clinic space, trying to figure out how we can best serve our families to make not only our care more convenient for them, to decrease the transit time, the movement time, to just try to make it much more patient and family centered. So this year, what we're really looking forward is how can we expand our space to a different environment, not only to improve the flow of our practice, but to make it truly even more patient and family centered than it is now. So primarily space is what we're looking at.
Very neat. This is the Glennon Gallop Wine, Dine, and Divots, a white-hot affair. It is Saturday, September 12th at the Kraftig Polo Club in Defiance, Missouri. They're encouraging you right now. The online ticket sales are closed, but you can visit glennon.org for more information on the event and, of course, for directions and all kinds of info on this amazing event.
Let me just throw in real quickly, because I think we should mention the really top sponsors. We have a lot of sponsors, a lot of people throwing a lot of time. And the top sponsor is Fifth Third Bank. The Danis family, their charitable trust, is a top sponsor. Tony Bomarito with A. Bomarito Wines has been a tremendous promoter every year with donations of wine and wine trips and all kinds of things. And then, as I mentioned, Crenshaw Lighting from Virginia is going to be the one team. The Kraftig team from St. Louis that William Kurt Bush is sponsoring. And also, it's kind of fun for the car benefit buffs. They'll have a sports car parade for the throw-in. So the sports cars will come in. Someone from the hospital, probably Matthew, will be throwing in the first ball in between the horses, so they're on the field. And that's being sponsored by Dave and Angie Porter and their new company, Pop Tickles, which is kind of a fun company. And so, again, a lot of people put in a lot of work to make this a first-class fun event, and it is. So we'd love to see everybody out there.
Yes, again, it's the Glennon Gallop Wine, Dine, and Divots White Hot Affair this Saturday, September 12th. So, guys, good luck, best of luck out there, and we'll see you soon.
All right, thanks.